Mini the Coco Saji Patu na I original TV na ya chedi na so ne papa mu a ya be to aso na ya soma man ya be din commode afa ene me for man Ghana we say de ayatwa PIC anu kase pa ASSIN North ene de ekoso na electoral commission for ene Samuel Fi banta no na ya de be sha say din commode afa ho me political analyst and ya try other two panelists on Baba Beckham Batebe and mini yaw ASSIN tano beshase said we kaka no a political analyst me ankasa medin the kwaku usaji pato I original TV said we kaka no ye adwempa dwumadi no mpempenso adri ye MPENSENPENSENMU opani akwaba una mboko de dan ko pass one electoral commission me pese e boni tataw one electoral commission for krata no mo trode Shia Samuel Fi asma kan the fa we say yes Samuel Fi say akwa koduru ba bi say we ntibrofu ase eno me adade yanhwe asem no ne kwan a afamie no ne de faso
Pato mda wasman fa kwen na menchia adwuma ko farba ene wo team na Ghana fo nyina mo hwe na I'm a bit worried because this particular banter between the whole electoral commission and a communications officer of a particular party, NDC, more or less shouldn't have gotten to this point. I feel easy response to Sami Jenfi on the first occasion would have sufficed, would have been enough, right? But I feel again, abatra emrabi mu ahihye ho anka na ebema ye electoral processes and say electioneering processes no akoso torting. And for me it is no wrong say Sami Jenfi will raise an eyebrow over a particular situation. You see, omo response omo babe can say even the NDC's candidate at Kumau now also was in the same situation. I think it's neither here nor there. We are talking about law. We are talking about processes that leads to a proper conduction of election. Into what we need to understand, is it wrong in these two instances or in this particular case? And no, that fact is what we need to establish. Now, you see, Amayati as per the constitution and per the regulations. Say, for instance, me fi Western North. Enti matrahache ba me ko ba once a while. Nti say next me sorry say me pese me ko gina say you also constituency na meto yeto me so aba. I have the right to stand for them to vote on me and I say on meto aba mame. For them this process applies to sa particular ASSIN here discussing. But the first question, the first issues that were raised regards NPP aspirant to ASSIN North had to do with the fact that NPP nankasa omo constitution actually say you must have lived in that area for a certain period of time. I think so you must have held from there your activities. In fact, they didn't even bring in about the hailing from there. But you must have lived and your activities and everything must have been there within a certain period, 5 years or whatever it is, before. But we also know, say, Mrebi anywhere, the Supreme law of the land, constitution. Right. But, and also, you say Supreme law, no, and I say, Mra, constitution. And so in various institutions and organizations, they have their own constitutions, right? That is an internal thing that regulates their activities. And sincerely speaking, on this particular issue, should have binded the your friend is saying the NPP aspirant for management, and I say NPP management to take decisions. Say this is what our constitution says. This has nothing to do with the laws of the land. An internal arrangement. ene yaye say so per se uba be di president and ope so ba be MP ope so ba be assemblyman so and so as a set emra we na we follow. Those are internal things. And your constitution bia. So for me, what the major fee raised initially was very legitimate, right? And so if you go into the NDC and their constitution internal arrangement does not or approves of somebody who has lived in or who doesn't live in the area but he comes from there to stand and vote, then what is your problem of linking it?
But you see, sir, say Nipano or say constitution say and I say electoral commission for the na some them fijina so they can say omo ankasa krata na omo ehwema nkrofo say wo ko endorse obi ama wa be candidate or say wo ti sa important ho or so ye registered voter only friend saying ye ntu ka se me kwako wusu agye me endorse ama ya ASSIN no meaning what the same constituency. See, same constituency no somebody feel explains it to me say I should be of the same form and shape. They say wo nipa no me endorse no should be or the same form and shape, which means that they should also be a registered voter
hailing from
there your friend saying electoral commission first more can say the omucho doesn't necessarily mean that I was say nipa no if a registered voter what must say the omucho and that constituency the omuka say the same constituency does not necessarily mean that also a registered voter
by hailing from there
alone qualifies the person to contest so be a member of parliament. Some say elementary English. I was say to me explaining side to electoral commission. Do you have anything to say about
yes,
that?
Yes, I think say electoral commission say I'm sure here Nasi Masa will be a president. Subsequently, nobody be
there's already a president which they have mentioned. Yeah, you kind of saying Kumawudi.
So electoral commission was aware. Weren't they? They were aware.
They were aware, but they thought there wasn't anything wrong with it.
You see, in elections, we don't use the issues of thought.
No, but you see, from what they said, there wasn't anything wrong with it. There wasn't anything wrong with it.
Right.
That is why they allowed it to slide.
Now,
now but I mean, electoral commission was too emotional in their statement. You see, they were too emotional.
You see,
I had to say there only nipa no na banta.
Yes.
Who your friend is saying? Your friend is saying? State your position. Naturally say because naturally say say as much as possible. So jitum so obey your man adwuma. We busy na when the cancer say you need a big stomach to yes. It's obey stores and no. Oh, you are say Obia come in the berry so and then you become another political party.
I agree with you. Even in this particular contest, behind closed door, they could have called a meeting to iron it out, to put the right things in place. Then they issue a statement saying, we have done ABCD to ensure, say, going forward, this and this are what we pertain in our electioneering processes. But they said they have been emotional, and even the banter, they've been emotional. No? I have spoken about the issue of regime institutions in this country. Say, to be very honest, under Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, for me, my observation and analysis, it appears to me, say, we are having regime institutions. For instance, if it is national security, it appears to me that the government controls them instead of the opposite. If it is a labor office, it appears to me that the government controls them. The ministries, the electoral commission, who should have been independent as we all know. But Nomabi Omoyano appears to me say the electoral commission is singing the same song as the NPP is singing. They are communicators. You understand? And that is a worrying situation. If we continue on this tangent, that it means say because Abai appointed these heads of institutions, Abai and a president wants us say on the control. And then the idea could do. I want to pray the electoral commission to do introspective analysis within the ambit of say or more regulations no regarding say unti area hokra but them move free ho na esese ukot ebi na microphone ko mon nimo there are people who don't even their regions or mon to me more a crow 5 say we free ha na ukọ ha they probably could mention the names but say be a we free ha na ukọ crow is na ukọ crows they don't know because they've lived in Accra or Kumasi all their lives but opportunity be about so make I time church regions nimo no enkrofo mo hihye nkran ha mo anka so mo region krapo no mo nim the terrain no omo dwane yekohye ho ma yekoto aba ema omo ma they are now MPs nti esi yenhwe ne ye na nkrofo mo atra ho acha omo nim area no nkrofo so nim omo no omo nya the benefit to also serve their people enye so obi temperature nti opportunity bi ba ya na yakoso anaba say onumum now because e be ono no nimdie is different from the home sense nipa na watra how we nim the suffering of the people what the people go through he goes through with them it is ono oba be ye emrahye badwani an assemblyman he will do better than obia
sometimes it's not about sika any sponsor se bia omunim say sa assume say anaso bentin eba bia kakra won nsem ti no obeboa in the party organization.
It's an illusion. It's an illusion. One say, aya ye the agency perception. Will be part of atadia kama issue. One hear your pia bontina will be your own nimu kura ho because I call the dollars they share a shen every day, right? But they be an win. Will be so ho. We see him so with scapa, but in actual fact they be also he's suffering. You understand? His perception. It be always scanty. And if it's even happening in our chieftaincy institutions, say. Friend is saying will be a friend is a brochi. Yeah, Kofana Basse Omramedi, a friend is saying or Henny. When Rekran for more while they are qualified, they know everything within the terrain. Then they sideline them just because of the fact they said will be
not Tunton Sassi.
Right.
Now on Encrofoy Galam,
exactly. I somebody is a lawyer. Adequate Mensa is a lawyer. And I am praying them to sit down, iron this thing out, and make sure, so going forward, we will not be seeing ourselves bantering over things that are so trivial and petty.
All right, so Ama Adena Kwakoye very it is that the Okano, it should cease fire because say na akwakoba on reducing it to the otibrofo the ontibrofo no me adade enti say mo anhwe na ekokoye te say ade we ayeye no akwakoye te say yen ni omo omo first statement eba abontin say bibi te say as usual no na no e kan ho asem say as usual na akwakoye te say de o pese o peche NDC for against the people, but that is not your job as electoral commission.
Exactly.
Leave our Mohammed Dems. So, omunye saade no. Who electoral commission? Onye saade no. Oya sana said the oya te said the say. We na ma secretary ba ko na modaso. Sa na nkofo beka. Ombeka ne sa o ba ne say ya. Obehun say honorable Timothy omo beka na fe na electoral commission there oya kra na nye for pani akwaba. Ona mubo ko de oh so we na ya okano odo enu tu enu so na ya wadin so oba bosin abo a oba hete rock snag pa na ba hwim si twow na chese ya da jan kopon ase
under this economy you can still dress and be nice. I imagine that if NDC were in power, far better dressing than this.
Ntina ya no ntina wa she ko jan no.
Yes sir, but people now say you over shampoo na abo. I will show Ole you now case way better.
Honorable Timothy Atabuade I will
go in their bag of
the design say one
bag of maize from that. You know, it's not the same.
They are common school feeding for.
They are common school. So wangasa no yo school fee no bottom of fee. Tijana mi chia TF4 and ahwefo nyina. It's nice meeting once again. I'm saying me delay kakra. And it was so because when we show some clip be. Yeah, when you people go as general out of your schedule program, it can really delay. But my issue was that I was going to the compound exactly at 8:30. I just walk across. You know, apologies to our viewers and to all those who have been waiting.
You say you are one of the most sought after pundits. I mean, political pundits. One of the most sought after.
If you say so,
it is. I mean,
well, it's by His grace. If people think that what I do and what I say, they would want to have me or more platforms for education with the people, it's good. I think I'll give kudos to all of you and to those of you who have given me the platform to market me for other people to see me as worthy enough to appear on the program. We thank you and thank the Almighty God first for that.
Our Mohammed Akwaba. You also call baby and son Albana.
What kind of sicker?
He was reading his money. He was reading his money.
Reading come out much let me actually say. Most of the time, our program start at 9, even 8:30. So we scheduled the time to get here by 8:50 so that at least unfortunately traffic on the way. So I apologize for that.
Don't worry, it was few time. I mean, it was very short time, but you better try. Yes, that's the most important thing.
Yes, that's true.
Straight away, we've seen the banter between Sami Jemfi and the Electoral Commission. What do you think?
Yo, Medasiminia, Mamencia, MPENSENMPENSENMU Akasa, na Menkasa Medasipa for this opportunity. I think it's healthy for our democracy. Me share the statement by the ASSIN as a professional PR person. Me say anka omutimi summarize the statement to.
Yes,
just 3 paragraphs. It serves everything. First one, in some nights Sami Jemfi kan no enye no kre. The second paragraph say in some na okan these are the facts on one party mo plan BBC ewo ho. The third one and it's 1992 constitution uphold to this. Na what end it? Me can say time na Silviano a PR person I know that these are the statements I expected from any state institution. Obi provoke your emotions to
override. Shots so person incite no ya me nua be man yes net here.
Exactly.
Ade ne say afi na wo no a o push no me nua be yes say o sa o ye passionate but you see say net here what solve the problem.
Exactly so. So I think that an institution like EC should hire people who really can ride over their emotions. Now, omatimi are very professional. I'm not saying the person there is not professional. There are provocations, but na provocations in a year. Usual journalism and some cultural say krama ka nipa news, but nipa ka krama news. Okay, say there is a statement that the NDC refers to Bosman Asari, so say an existential threat to the democracy of this country. Metie story, metie interview no Joy FM. Omufre Asiedun Ketia has used the same words. Say the EC is becoming an existential threat to your democracy. And a friend Bosman will say, say entity existential threat there is the NDC. Then Akwana what hona to say is it higher ye kasai. Obi to how monitor ye we ya be say true story. Onu who say storyline no e come from Bosman Saria e chance e coming from the EC
so you have NDC. To have your weight around you.
Exactly, because the NDC and any political party, the MPP will try to bastardize the EC. But cool heads. For instance, what Debiano Obika was NDC. Sometimes Obika MPP. So
Osha some mama's council forward.
Exactly so. So Osha
ya wa sanika no. Say asema ba ye na kotimi transika pa to.
Exactly. But no say me a professional even though me to abakwa baby. But me a professional intimate ha metima de bia me de kwabena yabo example obi anim so kotoko ni e she kotoko otibisu but when he is doing commentary between kotoko and has who da
onya to say referee na people preko was say yeah there
so I think that the statement na easy a troye omo tro tintin be 2 pages no enra me kan ye no me hu say nipa o tro statement no me gin dey say a pass it through the quarters I was say a pass it through because Bosman Asari we in charge of corporate services every day statement in true and sana eba I don't think san kasa statement no ebeba straight sir and again say bianca a pass it through even director of electoral services anka intimi but I have listened to the director of electoral services. He has mentioned it. The meat of the case, and he said, and again, Osha even the writings, Osha normal Troyana, on one brief communication officer, and one brief Samijan fee. I doubt if really, as a professional person, against an entity, and as I responded to an entity, you mentioned names there. And can almost take it to the communication officer statement, because it's a statement from the communication officer, not Samijan if you go and campaign. Say what's important is for you to campaign and win the elections. But when you know a red herring and they say eba. But let's call the substantive issue. The substantive issue they say, Anka sene mekano, Anko for 3 paragraphs, Anko explain Bibia must say any issue. But I ever discuss the substantive issue. Sami Jenfi, any the NDC, not even the NDC, almost all political parties, say opposition, at least it me true bomb editor your friends and easy so send at least one best set it up. I don't see attacks on EC, say justifiable. I don't see it as anything that will harm the democracy of this country. But say justifiable, na enye and no very problematic. So one year we should na oba. So the NDC ene for running NDC. That's a question every Ghanaian is asking. Say Enra, ukoye elections no. Why a veteran? We a veteran or presenting a candidate in a contesting elections. Now what could the same candidate in the qualification in who be or the presenting a call elections no. Just 2 months after, no be presenting the same candidate with the same criteria. What short incite people? Did he easy attempt? Can say MPP collide no be unqualified to contest elections. One who kokumo why the year vetting? National Communication Officer Sami Jenfi na onim se akosi amankwa na oto aba Ayewaso West Ogun. Na onim se oto aba okogina hokoye campaign man. Okotena akumo for 1 week no. Na onim se ono na o free ho na so onto aba
o can say party no kotena ho because Sami was not even in town.
Okay, yes, okay, so exactly party no ekotena ho no. So na omunim. So omutena se statement no omo nhwemu no omo Sami edit statement by say easy because say bia omo so nhwemu no omo statement by because say if he wasn't in town at least he's the chief spokesperson enemy te hey say it's a youth employment agency a statement bia ye meeting na menka ho kra na I will only be called to be briefed to write the statement. We trust statement na e pass through na yahwem na ehu sampa it reflect what they told me.
Okay, how about looking at the issue as it is because of patches say enfunso 1,000 and negate illegality.
Okay.
So them channels. So now let us look at the issue.
Yes.
As CI 127 no eka say or say we the undersigned registered from patron mote brofo pa because mo head dem say ka brofo pa kanka papa o she kokoti mfifini no ya ka brofo pa what pa nti mo mianhwe because elementary English ni ho nsamaba or say we the undersigned registered voters in Memphis say Clote Kole constituency
yes
do hereby nominate Yao Asani Tano of the same constituency to stand for election as a member of parliament, and we hereby certify that to the best of our knowledge, he or she is qualified to be elected as such.
is qualified to be elected as
a day assembly ban I say yeah registered yeah be endorsing the panel.
Yes.
Yeah registered voters yeah what clote calling. Na na ya hwe niema nyina ne ehunu se ya wasani tano what sa constituency mu or qualify say or best stand as member of parliament.
Yes.
This all kasa doesn't necessarily mean say ya asani tano so ya vote every registered voter na.
Okay. So eno isi no
because that's a bone of contention.
And I say isi no eya no. CI na all kind no. Isi na prepared to call parliament. Into omo te CI ni chen obi a. Omo te ase chen obi a. Omo de call parliament no. Omo say dia omo kire ene say before say obi be endorse obi no e was say nipa no e registered voter in that constituency. Nanso say nipa na wo endorse no it doesn't necessarily mean say nipa no e was say oto aba e in that constituency. That is explained. Again, anything, any law in this country that is inconsistent with the 1992 Constitution, you quashed the two baby cry. 1992 Constitution is the Supreme Law. Supreme Law, say, Obia or person or contest MP Biano, it was say, o free baby, and now what na faku for 5 years, and then we be contest any of the Kumasi states. Maybe I was nine for 5 years. Exactly, yes. Over 5 years since we be contesting and cry ha. Waba habe 5 years. So what na
over 8 years.
Exactly. What na faku for 5 years? I ultimately contested. 1992 Constitution akayo. Again, it was say free baby. Free baby so ultimately contesting mani ye. Send the NDC for faku kwesi amankwa free. Ayo waso weste wagon. Ekwa because o free bottom ase. Inti de no call ni kurum say contesting mine because it susu say una obetimi agisit ni emaye. Ana say eye your friend say what na ho? U free ho. Ana say your friend say what about ho that no na kire say o qualify eti nipa na eye Charles Opoku no question aye busa ye ho ne say me feel the obia me yenye primary so ene ye primary say ASSIN North I be nipa me no amwachi ene Charles Opoku na ekoye NDC ehwehwe mu no omuhu say adwuma Jachikosin na oye okrum ho aha omugidi gina so ema skirt and blouse no the same adwuma na Charles Opoku eye internet say elect Charles Opoku a game over yenye yo sanka bia ye Charles Opoku wia ye primary say wie na edi Charles Opoku aba na waka say okay nipa na wode na eba no unqualified eno kra na nka ye din
ba mo ya
mani wini debi ye din
attempts say mo be smuggle ni din akọ
why the attempt na why because we are yenye when you smuggle anka eno kra na be boy NDC eno na be ka say mpenifo ni nyina kwatena kire na nkwala erani party
no there is no nkwala here
okay. I mean so I'm sorry
because
the
whole
okay mpenifo no wo here
Ghana the whole Ghana
yes
Youth Employment Agency
yes
Assemble ni etin wo ano ati said you see you account
exactly
and it is not
and I may say mpenifo no the elections and as electoral process of this country no NDC omo ye bereft eno na ama up to now omo timi collect omo results because ye wo ho na sanipa no ye mfom so awu ja na wo ye mfom so na wa che no o kai setama we just question contestant kede de Japan just question no contest kene Japan ko gina krom ho e kan say akwa na NDC for the neighbor o wie ya ye be che no there is a video to it because onye Ghana ni okuta dual citizen
onye Ghana ni
nkwa okuta dual citizen there is a video to it because ASSIN for so ASSIN North no e ho na kene Japan free ye jaomo ya nye dede ye jaomo ko gina on community can say akwa na o wini kra be yi na free ho because nipa no unqualified.
Are you insinuating say honorable Japan
what I'm saying
or show be a chima yako saman on na
if that is the case what is wrong with it
so maybe yes there's nothing wrong with that MPP as a political party and of course yes say because when you Ghana ni that's very important and obi an joining free ho but the make can say ene so when you say nipa no qualifier Ghana na wonko ko na wini ano wasi no na yi na free ho maybe
Sami is thinking of the people of ASSIN North.
The people of ASSIN North are not bereft. Projects are equal from 2017 up to now. Projects are equal even 2020 are you winning way, and also winning way. Yeah, AstroTurf, which started in 2021.
All right.
Bibia, Ghana development, MP Kradi, or Mrasha Bejani.
They say I don't go show.
DC,
says I by election, but the way I'm also sank for the Kogu constituency. I'm also some projects go on.
Yes.
One we are also a constituency crowd, so we are Kokana no drum, no woman.
One monitor a friend saying a by-elections be there is no single by-elections there is no single by-elections ongoing projects we went to Talensi within short period the entire your friends Tongo Talensi road no on that your friends
this within a week per sem to MP so be a rape case now they are chino no I resign. Now I tell you, said the bear, and I say MP no bet me resign. Was a contested bill. Anyway,
so be a resign contested bill, but you see saying Professor, why you saying what resign? Yes, I contested. Contest of
but no, they know himself passing of the carpet. No, I say who calls we at Nigeria for the. But I'm farmer. I don't know about him.
Yes.
This issue, bro, for them himself. CI 127. How do you understand it? Really home from our home. Or say, we the undersigned registered voters in Clotte constituency do hereby nominate Yawa Sanitano of the same constituency to stand for election as a member of parliament. And we hereby certify that to the best of our knowledge, he is qualified to be elected as such.
Yes. If you sign for people or who wholly trust for people, it means that assembly mama signing can also take blame for it. Now, so be signing. First of all, me no be fill it form na answer na mama sign. You get it?
Yeah.
And when I feel that our columns that will show your registration number, only party, a voter ID, that's the main document for it. So, did they see it or they didn't see it? And did they sign? And what is the electoral law also saying about that? So, that is a contentious issue now. But the M-Pesa mechanism, you see, every law or policy, if it is not tested, it's a dead law. Every provision of the Constitution must be tested. It is when you test it, and I'll be who say a law no a touch man as a correct.
In this case, and you are saying that say fail form as a member of parliament. Now space now for who voters ID number ne be a voting. Is there a place?
Yeah, there are particulars. Voter ID number.
We a registered voter in the constituency,
and they say you have to.
There's a space for you to indicate. So what you are asking is, if you leave it blank,
you don't leave it blank.
Is it a yes or no?
No. Otro the particulars of the baby I will honey.
So first of all, you must prove that you are a registered voter and you are qualified.
Exactly. But it is not binding on you to be a registered voter in that constituency.
Yes, that's the 1902 Constitution.
Is it?
Yes, but the Constitution is not read in isolation.
Okay.
There are other laws, parliamentary. If the laws are not inconsistent with the Constitution, they are valid law. So you read the holistic,
including a CI,
including a CI, make regulations for the conduct of the elections. So it's not. That's why the Constitution and you be no between the two Constitution more.
Until somebody must be able to challenge the CI after this election, because we say the same form and shape. And I can't say offense so Kumawu by election. Say sad I deal with say yetimi pe kwan kosiki interpretation Supreme Court. Say nipa na registered voter. Is he allowed? Because it is silent. The law is silent on Saturday and say on your registered voter, is the person allowed to contest for an election as a member of parliament in the constituency?
The law might be silent in letter, but in the spirit of the law, it might say yes.
I don't hear the voice. I'm not a spiritual person.
Then we share constitution. Say your mature letters about the qualifications. And the constitution tells you how you should be, how you can register as a voter and also contest and be contested. It is assumed that once you register, it follows with the regulations to conduct the elections. So the spirit of the law, will be that, even though the letter says you are qualified A, B, C, D, but it's silent on the fact that whether you are voted in Ayawaso or at Bosa North, you can vote here. But it is also construed to mean that in practice, how can you vote in an election you cannot even vote for yourself?
There have been people who have contested for party positions who are not delegates themselves.
The party laws does not say that.
Yeah, you know, even presidential elections.
Yes.
There are certain people who are not delegates. The fact that you are contestant, so be registered.
It's different. The party law says, the party regulation says so. If the party regulation and CASA, you cannot.
But it's not the same.
No.
Okay, let us look at the letter. The letter.
It is assumed
what the 1992 Constitution says.
It is assumed that how would you want people to vote for you? One CASA won't even vote. No, you see, I want us to get this thing very clear.
Okay, so that is why I'm saying
it means that you cannot be held responsible. When we vote, we entrust power to Obi. You now, say me you if no more demand shames, and I just said it's not binding. Morally is it good. Even though the Constitution did not state explicitly, say so one year where you are mounted, but the Constitution demand you must be a registered voter. And you must be satisfied if you are not a lunatic, a bank chronic, can't be beer. Must be 18 years and above.
Yes.
You shouldn't have committed crimes. This is the generality of it. That is why we go under it to make the regulations. And the regulation did not also capture that. The long and short of it, I think it's now time for people to seek interpretation.
Okay. So just an additional information. Okay, I said Zanata Rawlings. When she was even certified in 2015 to contest as parliamentary candidate for India, she was not even a registered voter.
Yes.
Not even a registered voter. Now to Ghana Haprada.
Yes.
But NDC went ahead to push her to contest. Niyama Shite sent the thing to even court. Court declared say because that
is why no crown no question because of book can say
different
no but me just say the same we say no un say in sa ruling no
yes
omo can say at the time of nomination.
Yes.
So the Supreme Court in the question will say invoked that.
Yes.
Exactly. Because at the time of nomination, say election.
Exactly.
I don't know where the fact.
Exactly so.
Went through the same process.
I'm ready.
So it defies logic. The NDC that has been doing this has gone through this. Zanato Diano, an only registered voter of Ghana Haprano, but she didn't hold allegiance to any country.
Because Martin Wan Casadbe to me, I will visa.
NDC went to court, defended, said Yawevu.
So the electoral commission
contested there. And to me, a filing what Timia contested. So before the filing, there was a registration exercise. She registered as a Ghanaian, and son or Koya or filing yes Otuaba because the qualification in the 1992 Constitution says that I was said Otuaba. And son what to me I your first MP.
Nanka Amariban so kase PNDC law 2 something. No kase. And so kase.
It's not inconsistent with the Constitution.
Election. At the time of election, no.
Yes.
You say member of parliament.
Who say when we can say at the time of nomination because your friend says Zanato the can say at the time of
nomination, yes, start of the process and election.
Exactly.
Anyway, what is a letter commission by?
Albatross.
Who's a letter commission by regulation? Gives a time period you can do the transfer of the vote 42 days before. So it is captured in that aspect of it. It gives you time to make voter transfer into one upon ebia when but when I can between 927, the 40 days is too much for him to capture it. What was that? Into the war, Umpona Okujina Hormone. Into the can you see the political partners?
But we share the CI now. The CI says that 45 days to the elections you can transfer.
Yeah.
But OSHA date, you know, you transfer in ye. And
it's not make can.
Yes.
So I'm going to do it easier. Every anchor, they also my easier and say you make sure say easy the election no be kwa share. And they said they cover 45.
Exactly. That's where the commission will have come.
And now if you want the
constitution of you want to buy the idea of the constitution is saying you cannot do.
I'm noting it down.
No, you cannot do the by-elections beyond
transport. For some council conference, yes,
just one start as the crowd. Also, now we are some number you are the coffee fire. The man you know they are not a coffee.
Anyway,
you see, and now in other words, Sakrana Charles Opokwe, if he wanted to, he should have known this and done his transfer earlier. But Nina cut them pants down. But you see, we are bereft.
That's the reason. Well, me man tell me contest the MP there, but you know sometimes the feeling say call ukrum akotwaba. Ama nipa afo say odim puntu juma beba ukrum. A very good feeling.
Exactly.
Until me where me dan me to about.
And when you check most of our presidential and then the MPs, they know that's what they do. My brother and my sister free MPP for. Munjas asemnka. On one sense, we are bereft of electoral ideas. You can't do that to us, my brother. I am in that, sir. You need the constitution by any insect. We constitution.
MPP.
What was it? Who was it?
A political party MPP doesn't exist when the Constituent Assembly was around. No party be any.
No, there was no MPP.
Because constitution that they party the buy.
So I know that. But we can identify type. I know.
Yeah. Can't we say that those groups are now the
you
had first chairman of the NDC. No, he was a UP. Someone was a UP.
Because the way I was here now, maybe NDC for Ankabe for say Tim Nadia na because we share what they down say
NPP
blue. Anna, your friend said white. No, I said red.
It will be share TV.
What of my spirit? The spirit is the being, the real being of the human being, not physical.
Okay,
just to come. You see, I think we are missing a certain point.
Timothy Atabwa the featuring your answer.
The host Pato featuring you see Pato. We are missing a certain basic and moral point here. Also, local mantra say no contribution, no chop.
No chop, yes.
And now, time is so yes, ukosha. It means say, baby, I won't contribute to or do you don't have a hand in it, nothing. There be what it tests out manua. Then you jump in until you who say consistently, no. We are penoa. And now we also have the no contribution, no chop. Who persona who free so no. Won to abama obi wo hoda won pese obeto aba elect obi ko another constituency kotuma obi na opportunity about do you want to come and usurp yourself now the to abama wana
because he hails from there
but that's fine but what we are saying is that's fine but what we are the two of them are saying is they said the honorable Tim all kind of say you know sometimes I feeling no say we me pobi krom akoto aba because unim say ufri ho na say kuntunu hwan an nchi na ekode everything that is done there nkanka national enema omoye wo ho no e wo say unya feeling bi e say obeye bibia ye national there are people even president
an NGO in that constituency.
John Mahama will go to Bamboy Bole to vote. Nana Akufo-Addo will go to Chebi and vote.
Yes, it's one of the things
will go to his
against Alex Ramantin that
so that is it.
He claims he comes from Ashanti region, but he has never voted there. It's one of the things
that possible.
You see, your first moral aspect, no, I'm farmer share who say you must have been doing something there. If you could go for a more, if you are free, our constituency in the best 10-15 years, will be a year 5 years, no, when you're 20 years now. He doesn't know you.
But the guy they say, oh boy,
oh, NGO, in the constituency.
What was the intention of the NGO? And does it make profit?
No.
Non-governmental
organization. There's nothing like NGO not making profit.
In Canada.
In this
yeah, they make money.
Okay, so that is fine. But what you're saying too is true. So what Timi said, this is where I am from. Ntino me kwa koye ade ama edimpuntu juma abaho. Say war interest or business or say parochial any parochial. The most important thing is that the people over there are benefiting from it. What's in Panua? Adentina national assignment, national idea. You should be. Also, Ntina Meka say maybe going forward
up to him.
Yes, maybe not him alone.
Yes, not
him alone. Yes, na baby are free Ghana. Baby no how be 2 days and sign what. Yeah. Baby are free. Me a friend say.
Be cheap out.
Or 2 days. Okay, me find
those years
whatever it is. But
12 hours, 14 hours.
But young going forward, young fan share mu say baby are free. Sa niema no. Anya hwe obi nim say asumasi baha. Oh, ono de Oba 4 years for just say obeto aba no cry enough.
Yes, omuka. Yes,
what to them
be our own call you crow in the crew. Your bonnet.
Oh, them chand your bonnet sour.
Your bonnet sour cry within doesn't appear in your village funeral man. Count yourself out.
You see, as politicians, there are a lot of considerations that we consider in even voting somewhere. There are a lot of people when him say me koto about her. In case ebia me pese because matena ha meti akra into matena for 5 years into my mean to about her say bamu na wo say me contest MP kura meti me contest wa ha say o hwe line na anye ya na wasan ko ninchi sometimes it happens in certain places
over so obi a MP o ba bi na ya te say oba ba proof but
MP for
your friends say
o mu nyina ka
sa MP one of the Obum Domiabra
Matista Dokuya
Oba Central.
Said an that fellow, no, probably. The umbilical cord, no honor we see. Yes, sir. Or won't show the body in the
depending
on it has not distant, to be honest with you, and young people in Kwane happen. It has happened in our party too. But moving forward, how do we ensure that people are held responsible about where they went and vote? In any case, I drew such Charles Opokono man. I send no for no friend no an ass or no one a case or bahonomo. That is one of the things at this thing we bet. We'll talk about that.
I love the way you are doing the thing 2 in 1. You are doing the politics and the advice. You are a very experienced politician.
We are not
smart move.
We are. They should tell us what we are bereft in the electoral laws or processes in this country. If you're in some more quality election results, doesn't mean you are bereft of electoral process. In any case, our political parties supposed to collate results. What's the function of the electoral commission? Are we supposed to be collating results? But we do that as a guide. We do that so that we can also
even in our culture, yeah, this is Kamawa. So also boy.
Political parties are always guiding against those things. You know, you be nimni a collating result, ni a chain, and the electoral commission maker. But assuming the electoral commission through the years, have been announcing results that have been undisputed. You even find it irrelevant to be collating results. The only thing I wait my as a political party is you put your people and your structure in place to ensure that the right thing is done. And yes, sir. Samuka say it's not even true that we have not collated. We collate our results too. In any case, that is
but honorable, Saturday, yeah, I worked. Yes, I know. But I worked with a certain institution. Yeah, for me, free or not for 7 months, my cat you and your mind. Now, no man says, I want to in a can. I'm saying, the first thing I will be something say, me resign or mama me financial statement. Say, or much me say, me share number of years aka. I don't know, I've kept it to my chest. Until me corner go catch 3 months, I'm saying, oh,
that's what I said. We do the coalition, like just like anything. To keep our numbers too. Yes, Anna, a number now up to electoral commissioner who say a core now, if it is maybe plus 1 or 2 and say maybe sometimes the political parties leave to. Until we've collected that over the years for us to keep our results. In fact, you might build the archives through that. We can also use that for analysis and data to see our weaknesses. But is it really our mandate? Yes, we've taken that upon ourselves because of the weaknesses of our institutions here. Man, yes, my quality. Okay. Now, share electoral commission.
Time on
and I am faculty. Yeah.
And then Parliament can say, "We say my father." Now the electoral commission has a problem. And today I'm happy because this is Senate. Say my institutions to look at better and sit up and do the issues. And me person me ye bibia no pawe. What kind electoral commission letter now mo try na? We name the mo try.
A father here.
The response to Same Jemfino.
Which part of it? Which reference? Well, the end person reference.
Me refer to the first letter no.
They almost say as usual. And the
Omoka say we have been maligning state institutions.
Yes.
And I'm happy you saw them. In fact,
official letter on the radio. On radio. I mean, myself said and
my brother also
even before the second one, it shouldn't look like a banter.
It shouldn't look like once you have accepted to be a public officer there, even journalists, how do they do to you? How do they do to my brother and my brother here and so on? But I have so many people near German or one up on one do her. If you say that we have been maligning state, in fact, you don't speak on behalf of state institutions, and no state institution has complained to the EC that this is what they are doing.
Whoever wrote that thing should come.
It is, and like my brother said, official letters. I've written official letters several times, even as an investigator. Look, official letter there should not be more than 2 paragraphs. It should not cover more than your letterhead.
2 pages.
It should not look. To be honest, official letter at the level. 1 paragraph should capture the opposite.
Because a man for the fun say you are looking. You're using the opportunity to explain yourself.
Yes.
You don't need to state the facts.
They are only mimicking dampering.
What I mean by
spin no. Yeah, politicians know
spin. If it is a report, then you are tied the report. Very brilliant way you present. The only thing is the way you went around bantering other areas.
You wouldn't do your bidding.
You see, but I don't blame the electoral commission. It is difficult for even political power. Look, they are the people who single-handedly stop people from SAL. Over 30 people by a stroke of a pen from voting.
30?
Yeah, over 30,000 people.
Yeah.
From voting, denying the people of their constitutional and birthright of the right of choice, even represented, which is an inalienable right.
They voted
by you've been putting already. You have credibility issues. Then you came again. You announced presidential elections 6 times.
But I've seen it somewhere. Just by way of information, I've seen it somewhere. Say. Is it appears and what's his name? No. The EC appear. We are still obeying the Supreme Court.
Yeah, it's good. Let's just test our laws.
Yeah, but but for me, when you say, can make us so because the Supreme Court, I can predict the coming of this.
Okay, so you predicted Domolevo.
God predicted it. Intimate you.
Onazia wa crowd be ante egbe.
Obi ante
special education. Oh, say.
Wakasa pa.
I'm sorry.
Ideas in electoral rules and say. So if you count from 1992 constitution, muna mo de buy. Muna mo appointed the first EC
giving us enough education. We are very grateful.
So make us muna mo de buy. But when you check all the major reforms in terms of electoral changes,
educated us
in terms of electoral changes, all the major reforms are implementing was instigated by the MPP. Fine. Go and check from opaque, your friend saying ballot boxes to transparent,
yes, it's true.
The stolen verdict, you see it in there.
So it keeps
the registration in a keka who you see it in there. Picture. They took your friend saying exactly. And also MPP na
CPP, all of you.
I don't think so. In fact, I will even add Kumipreku, wanting Ghana to have a democratic but you are not the most undemocratic government.
Well, we don't take it away from you.
Your normal Moshe Shegu who are making sure said Ghana will be
Baku discussing within 5 minutes.
Kumipreku was even
we're not talking Kumipreku.
No,
you said democratic government.
No,
you said an opposition.
Kumipreku no, but we are saying say
so I will say the most undemocratic government. Tell us right now.
Even your governance style, your utterances.
Yes.
You can't catch them with Sambalas and Tobias. Yes, Jeremiah. Mo cancer papa farm when we was back.
What does that got to do with governance?
No, in fact, tolerance is one of
between 2 and 5:13. So many Isaac Boama Dako, Martin Nahiri, and I feel Akusha Sabia, Etna original 91.9 FM. Now I feel that I didn't cassette Medino Abro.
I am Sergio on the 37.
Agbesi, yeah, Agbesi, young guy Agbesi. Too bad. He's a very nice person. Very nice person. Very nice person. Enti nyankopon ya adoma ochina yebese hia. Amen kan nyina.